Hey friends, it is Lane here with Tim's Nation. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the Leagues of Votann list I'm running today. I am taking the Oathband detachment. I do not want to play the Grotsmith detachment. I just don't think it's very good. And so in protest of that, I'm taking 0 Hearthguard today. So yeah, this is Oathband. We're going to keep it simple. I think my plan today is to run fixed and just do cleanse and engage and just push everything up the table and try and do some killing to keep myself alive. But I have a bunch of units that I'll be able to throw up the board. We're just running a bunch of vehicles, 2 Hecatons, 5 Sagittars, some jet bikes, some guys and all that stuff, some guys and girls packed into all the vehicles. So hopefully, I just want to have fun with it. I played in a 5-round team tournament GT this past weekend, and I'm exhausted. It was a real Shark Tank. All 5 rounds were tough rounds. We played against some really good opponents. Had a great time. I'll do a separate video about that, so check that out. But yeah, I just want to do something easy. So I think I'm just going to push Votann up the table, just try and get on objectives and cleanse them, and then go and get into all the fronts. So, all right, we're just going to go through the list, and we'll talk a little bit about how we plan to use it. All right, so this is 1,995 points of Leagues of Votann in the Oathbound, the original index detachment. So the detachment rule, the army rules, you can put, now that they changed all this, you can put, give 2 of your opponent's units 2 judgment tokens is the army rule. And then the detachment rule is that you can give out 2 more units can get 2 judgment tokens for a total of 4, just the way it used to be. And if you kill one of those units, you get some extra judgment or some extra command points. You get 3 command points if you do it before your second command phase, and then it's 2, and then it's 1 in each subsequent command phase. I believe the way the rules are written, though, you only get this CP if you kill one of the ones the 2 you mark with the detachment rule, I think is the way and people have been talking online that stated. I don't know if they're going to FAQ that or not, but from the way it's worded, the army rule now gives you 2 targets that you mark with 2 judgment tokens. The detachment rule gives you another 2. Only those 2 from the detachment rule count to give you the CP. So we'll have to make sure we're being very careful with that. Okay, so on to the list here. So we have 3 characters. We got 2 Grimneers. These guys are fun. I'm going to have one that's going to hang out back on my deployment zone objective and just kind of protect that, probably with 5 Hearthkin warriors. He does have the enhancement. Where to go? Appraise and Glare. Yeah, this is the one where I pick an objective that my opponent is on in my command phase, and then I count any units within range of that as having 1 additional judgment token, in addition to what they have there. Just a good way to give out some extra judgments there. And then, of course, the Grimnir himself does have a decent psychic attack. He's got a 4-up invuln, so he's got a little bit of durability. He's got 2 little guys with him that can eat a couple wounds. And then his psychic attack, let's see, focused. So when you go hazardous, it's 6 attacks. Not a variable number like a lot of Space Marine psychers. It's real nice. It's just flat 6 attacks. He hits on 2, strength 6, AP 2, D3 damage. So it's actually a pretty strong, consistent thing if you're going into some infantry, lower toughness. Being able to hit on 2s without any judgment tokens is something that almost nobody else in the army does. So he'll be fun. I've got another Grimnir. He'll just go in one of the transports somewhere in a Sagittar or a Hecaton, so he can pop out, do some actions. If he comes out of a Hecaton, he can take advantage of that support fire, getting to reroll wounds into a target. But really, he's just there to go out and do a little bit of some actioning for me. And then we are running Uthar the Destined today. So I don't think Uthar is a good buff for a unit. But as a solo, I know some people have had success taking him out there because he's got the goofy little special rule where anytime he takes damage, he just reduces it down to 1. So he's got 5 wounds. So if you're going to kill him, you got to get 5 attacks past his 4-up invuln. So he is kind of durable, and also he will be just going out there and popping out of a Hecaton to go do a little bit of work, to go do a little bit of, do some actions for me, get on objectives, that sort of thing. So we'll see how he performs today, see if he survives for a little bit so he can do a little work for me. Battle line, we do have 2 10-mans of the Hearthkin Warriors. So these guys can be split in half into 5-mans. if you put a 5 into a Sagittar. We're definitely going to do that because we're going to fill all their Sagittars because they are dedicated transports. The special rule for these guys is sticky objectives, so they can sticky an objective for me. With a lot of the mobility that Necrons have, and like the Ophidians upping and downing, sticky objectives can be a trap because I don't want to lose any of my objectives to an uppy downy. So, but it can be handy a lot of times later in the game. It's a good way to kind of control some objectives, still a way you go out and do actions and that sort of thing. They do have a few guns. These guys never hit very well. You don't really take them for their damage output, but sometimes, sometimes a Magna Rail shot goes through and it just feels real good. So 2 10-mans there. Dedicated transports. We do have 5 Sagittars. They all have the high last beam cannons. These are kind of nice also for doing actions just because they can advance and still drop off their the embarked unit in there, and that embarked unit counts as having made a normal move. So they can still advance, drop out their transport kin, and they can still do an action. Well, the disembarked unit can still do an action because it does not count as having advanced. So that's pretty strong. And they're kind of durable for little transports. Being toughness 10, it does give them a little bit more durability than their typical T9 transports. So hopefully that keeps them alive a little bit. Moving on, we do have one little 3-man squad of Thunderkin. Again, just somebody to pop out of a transport. They can only go in the Hecaton, so they'll be going in the Hecaton. They can pop out of there, do an action, maybe take a few shots at something. If there's a big squad, they do have blast on their guns, so they can get a fair number of shots out. And then we do have one squad of Berserks. If I had more points, I probably would have stuck another 5-man of Berserks in here. But these guys are great for just going out and doing a little bit of melee at 100 points. 2 Hecaton land fortresses. Both of these guys have the bolters all around and the conversion beamers on top. One of them is modeled with a Magna Rail, but I'm just using the conversion beamer for both of them. So we got that. And then we've got my favorites, the jet bikes. We really was going to take 18 jet bikes today, but I think we're just going to do 1 6-man squad and then 2 3-mans. So the 6-man with the 9-inch scout is really good for getting out there and going after one of those prejudged targets to get your first kill. Because with the 9-inch scout move and the 12-inch move, you go after something that's got a couple judgment tokens on it. You can use the strat to give them sustain 2 on 6s when they go after that. And they can usually pick up a light to medium target just with the volume of shooting they've got coming out of their auto cannons. So that's what they're to do, is just to score me a quick kill and get me those CP. And then 2 3-mans, they can do a little bit of damage with shooting, but they have the uppy downy ability. So if you're within 6 inches of a table edge at the end of your opponent's turn, you can pick them up and then they come back in from reserve. So another good scoring and placement unit. And it's also sometimes handy for them to be able to get eyes on a target if they are positioned. If you uppy downing them and bring them in from a table edge, they can do some shooting there as well. So that is the list. All right, just a lot of units. I know a lot of people have had success with Votann at the team tournament I was at this past weekend. There's a player who's doing really well with them. I just haven't played him and practiced him enough to get really good at him. So like I said, today, the strategy is just to push stuff forward, get engaged in all fronts, and then do cleansing, because I can probably get on 2 objectives in the middle to do some cleansing. With the OC2 of the Hearthkin, if they need to get out and just control an objective, they can do that. So between them and a vehicle, they're probably going to control the objective, regardless of what DJ has on there. So we'll definitely be taking advantage of that. No real secret strategy here. Just going to try to pound some stuff and do enough damage to kind of keep my opponent from doing, taking me out and taking out 2-man of my scoring units. I don't do fixed. The only time I really have done fixed is when I run my all-Crute army, because they're really good at that. And they have the same thing that the Votann have, is they have a lot of scout abilities. So I don't have any of the infiltrators today. I have the kit, I just haven't built it and painted it yet. I probably could have substituted, proxied some other Hearthkin in there, but I didn't want to do that. I knew my matchup. I don't think DJ has but 1 infiltrating unit race, and I'm okay with dealing around that. So yeah, that's it. No secret super strong strategy here, guys. Just let's see if we can score some points. control some objectives, do some cleansing, do some engaging, depending on the layout and the mission. I might do behind enemy lines. I might do engage. We'll see what the deployment is today, but that's it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what works for you with Votann, because I love them in 9th. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that in 9th edition I had a lot of success with them. I loved them. They were, especially when Death Watch was really bad in 9th edition. Votann were my main army. I won 6 RTTs with them during 9th edition. Never did it really great at a GT, but won, the 9 months or so that they were in 9th edition, I won like 6 RTTs, just cleaning up with them. I really liked how they worked, and since they changed, just haven't really been able to crack them for my play style. So let me know how you play them, what units you love, and we'll go from there. So yeah, follow me over to the battle report. Let's see how they actually do into some Necrons. All right, have a good one.